That's my list, all right, of the top 2 exercises for each of the 5 major muscle groups. Hi guys, I'm Mark McKillier with Live Anabolic, and today I put a list together of exercises that I recommend you guys do for each of the 5 major muscle groups. And the reason I did this is because I see a lot of men online in our Facebook group and at the gym, whatever, trying to create their own workout programs. I highly recommend you don't do that, all right? We have a ton of fantastic workout programs right here at Live Anabolic. But if you are, okay, I've picked my 2 favorite exercises for each of the 5 major muscle groups in the body, with core being accepted. I'm not including core as a muscle group, even though I probably should. So anyway, let's just get to it. These are the exercises. If you're creating your own workouts, you ought to at least, at the very minimum, have both of these exercises in your workout program. All right, so let's start off with the major muscle group, our back. Most people don't realize there's 17 different muscles in our back. There's a lot of muscles to hit. So normally there'd be a lot of great exercises that you need to do, but if you can only pick 2, pick these 2. And that is number 1, seated rows. This is going to be on your cable machine, okay? Fantastic. It works a ton of those muscles in your upper back. If you could only do 1, actually, that's probably the one you should do. And the second one, which I think is a close second, are lat pull downs. That's another thing you're going to be doing on the cable machine at the gym, or if you're doing it at home, you're going to be using resistance bands. All right, let's move on to muscle group number 2, and that is our shoulders, okay? A lot of you guys, because I know what age guys are watching my videos, are going to have bad shoulders. And that's why I picked these 2. These are my primary 2 that I do every time I hit my shoulders. Number 1, my favorite, lateral dumbbell raises. You don't have to lift your hands very high, so a lot of you guys with kind of bad shoulders can do it. Plus it hits the lateral, okay, sides of your chest, because your delts are made up of 3 muscle groups. So I love that exercise. That's my go-to exercise. And then number 2 is something most people totally ignore, and that is the rear head of your delts. And you need to do rear delt flies. You can do those with dumbbells or on the cable machines. But if you could only pick 2, I would recommend doing those 2. Okay, the third muscle group today is going to be our triceps. And I'm not putting these in any particular order of importance, okay? That's just how I kind of wrote them down. So our triceps, the best one, just the go-to for everybody should be your tricep pushdowns. At the gym, it's going to be on a cable machine. If you're doing it at home, it's going to be with resistance bands. But it is a great way to really isolate your triceps, and you can use a lot of weight and push extremely hard and still use really good form without cheating. Man, you can just kill your triceps with that exercise. And then number 2 is overhead tricep extensions. This is a much more difficult exercise because it puts your elbows and the starting position in kind of an awkward position. But for that reason, you're working your triceps in a much more stretched position from the very beginning, okay? So you'll hit different muscle fibers in your triceps. And of course, that's the reason why we use multiple exercises targeting the same muscles, is so that we recruit different muscle fibers with the different exercises. All right, now guys, let's move on to legs, the 4th major muscle group. The first one is the leg press. And the reason I picked that instead of, say, squats is because of our age and how many of you guys have got bad backs. I have a bad back. Not terrible, but my legs are much stronger than my lower back is now. I blew out a disc years ago. So when you're doing the leg press machine at the gym, you're putting 0 stress on your lower back. I mean, all the weight is on your quads, your hamstrings, and your glutes. And you can really push it hard. Even as an older guy with a bad back, you can get a lot done with the leg press. And then the second exercise would be walking lunges. Believe it or not, you get all the muscles in your lower body when you're doing lunges. I mean, you're really using a lot of hamstrings and glutes when you're doing that. And then to make it more difficult, you can actually hold dumbbells and do weighted lunges. You know, you don't have to just use your body weight. All right, so the fifth one in our list here is biceps, and it's not really the fifth muscle group. I think of arms as a muscle group. So biceps and triceps go together as a muscle group. But the top two exercises for bicep curls, oh my gosh, dumbbell alternating curls. All right, I really like doing them alternating, you know, where you can just focus on one arm at a time, and then supinate. All right, so as you're bringing the dumbbell up, you're rotating your wrist, so you're working more muscle fibers when you do that. All right, fantastic. And then the other one is a concentration curl with a dumbbell. Those are great because you really can't cheat. All right, when you're doing concentration curls, there's no way you can use your body or your momentum to kind of fling that dumbbell up. You know, you can kind of cheat when you're standing up doing dumbbell curls, but concentration curls, impossible to cheat. And although this is the sixth set of exercises, it's just the fifth muscle group. Our chest, right? That's the last big major muscle group in our body we haven't covered. And my favorite, if you can just pick two, remember, is at the gym and you get on a machine, you do this, and that's the incline chest press on a machine. And the reason I say that is because these machines are really well designed nowadays. So when you're pushing the two handles, you'll find that your hands start out real wide here, and then as you push forward, your hands will become closer together. That gives you a better range of motion, as opposed to, say, a barbell bench press. So as you go forward, your hands don't come together. You get less range of motion like this than if you go like this. And that's why I think the machine is typically better than a barbell. And then the incline, I think, is better because it takes some of the emphasis off the lower pecs and puts it on your upper pecs. And for most guys, that's their weak point, all right? It's really hard to build, you know, your upper pecs. And then the second exercise for our chest would be flies. You got to do cable flies. Flies are fantastic. You can do them on the machine or on the cable machine. You can do them on a machine where you're not doing any cables, you know. You're not using the cable crossovers. Either way is fine, but just do flies, either with the cable crossover machines or on just a static machine where you select the weight with a pen. All right, guys, there it is. That's my list, all right, of the top two exercises for each of the 5 major muscle groups in our body. Instead of trying to create your own workout, though, I really recommend you try one of ours. I mean, Gary Walker and I have got a lot of experience, and between the two of us, I think we got 4 different workout programs. And we spent a lot of time putting those together and making them creative and fun to do, which of course means you'll stick with it and never give up on yourself.